With the Galaxy Tab S10 Plus, Samsung released the latest version of its 12.4-inch premium tablet. At first glance, the S10 Plus looks very similar to the S9 Plus, and there are only a few differences. However, for some it might actually be worth switching from the predecessor to the S10 Plus. We reviewed the tablet extensively, and in this video you will learn when it makes sense to spend around $1,000 on the S10 Plus and when it's better to save a lot of money with the S9 Plus. The Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Plus is very thin, only 5.6mm thick and weighs 571 grams. You can get it in moonstone grey and platinum silver. The body is of very high quality and is premium feeling. There's no visible difference compared to the Galaxy Tab S9 Plus. Visually, the two are almost the same, and this is also including the IP68 protection against water and dust. However, there's some invisible difference. Samsung has reinforced the frame with the so-called Armor aluminum on the S10 Plus. The two tablets are too expensive for us to drop test, but the S10 Plus should be a good deal more stable. It has a USB 3.2C Gen 1 port, thanks to which you can also connect external monitors. Just like with the S9 Plus, by the way. Both also have a fingerprint scanner located under the displays. A 12.4-inch AMOLED display with up to 120Hz and a resolution of 1752 x 2800 pixels is one of the highlights of this tablet. A beautiful display, but almost identical to that of the previous model, almost only. It differs from the Galaxy Tab S9 Plus in only one respect. It's equipped with an anti-reflective coating that really does a good job of significantly reducing reflections. This is really visible and so strong that it could make sense for power users to switch to the new version. For example, if you often work on a train or outside in a cafe or something and you are often bothered by reflections. However, the brightness suffers a tiny bit from the coating. It gets about 550 nits bright, while the S9 Plus got to 580 nits. Compared to the Honor Magic Pad 2 and Apple iPad Pro, the display generally looks a bit dark, because those two are up to 1600 nits bright. Although the iPad Pro is more expensive than the S10 Plus, the Honor only costs $600. It's a shame that the S10 Plus is noticeably darker. In general, the S10 Plus has a good display, of course. After all, it's an AMOLED with much better black levels than an iPad Air or OnePlus Pad 2, for example. Since we could not find any difference in our speaker comparison, Samsung probably uses exactly the same as in the S9 Plus. It's a shame, because a slightly improved speaker could easily make the newer model stand out a little bit more from the S9 Plus. However, they're generally very good and are comparable to those of the iPad Air. With that being said, the Honor Magic Pad 2 and the iPad Pro offer even better sound quality. The S10 Plus scores in terms of processing power, despite being the first Samsung flagship to use a MediaTek chipset. While the S9 Plus has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 built in, Samsung is now using a MediaTek Dimensity 9300 Plus, which is roughly comparable to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in terms of performance. With the new chip, the new S10 Plus manages to stand out from its predecessor a bit, and this is also reflected in the benchmark tests, where it delivers significantly improved performance. However, not too well either, because especially in terms of graphics performance, the chipset is not as strong as an Apple M2 or M4. The performance is also very similar to the OnePlus Pad 2, which costs around $600, so it's much cheaper again. You can get it with 256 or 512GB of storage, which is extendable using a microSD card with up to 1.5TB. It also has 12GB of RAM, just like its predecessor. The S10 Plus is a great gaming tablet. For example, we played a lot of Fortnite, which runs smoothly at the highest graphics settings. Games like PUBG Mobile or CPU-demanding strategy games also run wonderfully. However, this is also possible with the S9 Plus, and therefore it is not worth buying the newer edition for the better performance. Sure, the better performance is measurable in benchmarks, but you can hardly notice a difference in real life. It's running Android 14 with the One UI version 6.1, and with the S10 series, Samsung has a new update policy. While you get 4 years of Android version updates and 5 years of secure updates for the S9 Plus, Samsung promises a full 7 years of version updates and 7 years of security updates for the S10 Plus, which is really great. Because of that, the tablet stands out from many competitors, such as the OnePlus Pad 2, and keeps up with Apple's update policy. All the Galaxy AI features are new, but these AI features also run on the S9 Plus via an update. Much of it works quite well, especially in the Samsung Notes app. You can have PDFs summarized, text translated, or lectures transcribed. Much of it isn't quite as good as ChatGPT, for example, and there's still a lot of room for improvement, but that's currently the case with all AI tools. Like its predecessor, the S Pen is included and works wonderfully, just like we have been used to from Samsung tablets for years now. The pen is great for handwritten notes and also for drawing, especially if you use the Samsung Notes app. It's a great tablet with pen, but it's actually the case with all Samsung tablets with S Pen. We use the S10 Plus with the Samsung Book Cover Keyboard Slim, a thin keyboard cover without a touchpad. You need to get used to it a bit, but then you should be able to write longer text comfortably. You can also get a bigger keyboard cover with a touchpad for the S10 Plus, which is the better choice if you want to use the Samsung DeX desktop mode. That mode is supported just like on the S9 Plus. There's a 12 megapixel selfie camera on the long side, which is good for video chats. On the back, there's a 30 megapixel wide-angle camera and an 8 megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera. In direct comparison with its predecessor, the pictures of the S10 Plus look a bit more colorful and softer, which is probably due to slightly different software. In our battery test, the tablet played in HD YouTube video at maximum brightness in an endless loop for a full 11 hours. The S10 Plus got exactly the same result. It's a shame that the Galaxy Tab S10 Plus is so similar to the S9 Plus. They are almost the same tablets, and Samsung is not innovating at all with the new version. They could have at least gone for brighter displays like Apple and Honor did. Nevertheless, it remains the case that the Galaxy Tab S10 Plus, together with the S10 Ultra, is currently the best Android tablet. The main reason for this is the overall package of a powerful processor and 7 years of long updates. The latter in particular is really great. The display, S Pen keyboard cover and battery life are also good. We think it's only worth upgrading from the S9 Plus to the S10 Plus if the S9 Plus is too slow for you for some reason, or you often work outside and you don't like reflections. The anti-reflective coating is really good, and that's the only really noticeable difference. But for most people, it's not worth upgrading from the S9 Plus to the S10 Plus. And that also means that you're doing very well with the S9 Plus if you can find it quite cheaply somewhere. That can also be used, of course.